The pursuit of wisdom is often found along the less traveled path, a rewarding journey in our lives. Some things are like seeds. We plant them in silence, away from curious eyes, allowing them to flourish without interference. Here's where the wisdom of the Stoics comes into play. They teach us the value of guarding and nurturing our inner selves, without the rush to display it to the world. The Stoics understood the importance of keeping certain aspects of life private. They cherished their secrets, accomplishments, and lessons because they recognized that oversharing could dilute the essence of these valuable insights. Every joy, sorrow, lesson, and challenge contributes to the unique story we craft. However, not everything needs to be shared openly, so when we choose not to share something, it's not about hiding but protecting. True growth arises from the delicate balance between what we reveal and what we keep to ourselves. In a world eager to showcase everything, it can be challenging to appreciate the depth behind our accomplishments. In this video, we'll delve into 11 subjects worth keeping to yourself, each holding a key to a more meaningful life. 1. Keep your unconquered challenges to yourself. In the Stoic path to wisdom and virtue, every step was filled with meaning. The deviations and stumbling blocks weren't mere obstacles. They carved the soul, shaped character, and taught about the true nature of grandeur. It wasn't the visible triumph that counted, but the internal battles, often invisible, that determined a person's inner strength. But if these struggles held so much value, why did the Stoics advise not to speak about challenges not overcome? The answer lies in their astute perception of human nature. They believed that ego and pride could cloud our vision, making us blind to true virtue. The relentless pursuit of external recognition and praise could indeed be a veil that hides our true potential. The Stoics didn't hold achievements that could be easily showcased as trophies in high regard. Instead, they sought genuine glory in actions that uplifted humanity, actions rooted in values like justice, generosity, and wisdom. To them, true wealth didn't gleam in gold, but radiated from a morally upright character and a serene soul. Their philosophy of embracing fate was integral to this perspective. In the face of adversity, the Stoics didn't surrender to despair. Instead, they maintained equilibrium, recognizing that life's intricate tapestry often weaves threads of circumstances beyond our control. 2. Don't talk about your achievements. Picture plunging into the profound depths of your own soul, much like the Stoics viewed their journey toward wisdom and virtue. They held the conviction that genuine fulfillment didn't lie in showcasing external conquests, but in the realms of introspection and perpetual growth. Every challenge and struggle they faced wasn't waged in the public eye, but in the silent landscapes of the spirit. By sharing their victories, they offered profound insights into their inner reflections. They cautioned against nurturing ego and vanity, recognizing them as formidable barriers standing between us and true virtue. The Stoics pointed out that an unhealthy fixation on external acclaim binds us in chains of pride, leading to the empty pursuit of fleeting applause, a path ripe with disillusionment. However, they imparted a precious lesson. Authentic achievement isn't the one paraded for admiration, but the one that silently reshapes the community, nurturing nobler values such as justice, compassion, and wisdom. To these ancient sages, wealth wasn't measured by hoarded riches, but rather by the depth of a harmonious and tranquil soul. Instead of excessive celebration in times of victory or withering despondency in defeat, they advocated for quiet acceptance of the capricious nature of life. They invited us to acknowledge that the symphony of existence is orchestrated by melodies often beyond our control. Within this profound silence, we find a deliberate choice, a dedication to authentic greatness. Their legacy underscores that true majesty lies in living with integrity and dedicating oneself to the collective. They left us with the enduring wisdom that humility, sincerity, and an unwavering pursuit of wisdom form the bedrock of a life truly worth living. 3. Don't talk about your good deeds. Imagine a candle that silently lights up a dark room. Its light is gentle, but it warms everything around it. Kindness for the Stoics was much like this flame. They believed that true generosity didn't need to be proclaimed in public squares or shouted from the mountaintops. It should be a genuine and subtle gesture, done out of the simple desire to do good without expecting praise in return. Why might this perspective seem strange in today's self-promotion culture? For a profound reason, as the Stoics recognized the danger of turning kindness into a spectacle. After all, if we brag about every altruistic act, we might inadvertently seek the fleeting warmth of applause. Keeping our good deeds in the cloak of anonymity provides us with a sacred moment of reflection and pause, a moment of intimate connection with ourselves, where we can question whether our actions were genuine or motivated by other interests. This secret self-analysis becomes a catalyst for personal improvement. At the heart of Stoic philosophy lay the belief that true kindness doesn't seek the spotlight. It manifests in acts of compassion, quiet and authentic. This timeless wisdom envelops us with its essence and reminds us of a fundamental truth. Often the greatest act of kindness is the one offered without expecting anything in return. 4. Don't talk about your resentment. Have you ever found yourself ensnared in a complex web of emotions, where each strand represents a bitter memory or an enduring grudge that refuses to fade away? The timeless wisdom of Stoicism beckons us to contemplate the hidden burden of resentment. To these ancient philosophers, holding on to resentment was akin to anchoring the spirit, preventing it from sailing freely through the seasons of life. But what if we could opt for a less traveled path, where forgiveness and understanding became our steadfast companions? Beneath this historical perspective lies an unwavering emphasis on virtue and self-control. Take a moment to reflect. Have you ever carried a heavy burden on your back for an extended period? Have you experienced the weariness, exhaustion, and persistent resentment it can bring? This invisible burden acts as a chain, restricting our freedom and inner peace. It's intriguing to recognize that resentment often sprouts from misunderstandings, ensnaring us in a cycle of bitterness. The Stoics encouraged us to delve into the origins of others' actions, to comprehend before we rush to judgment. Forgiveness, they asserted, isn't merely an altruistic act, but a profoundly wise one that unravels the enigmas of the human soul and liberates us from the shackles of negativity. Anger and resentment, they contended, are like silent poisons, flames that, when fueled, consume our serenity and well-being. In contrast, by choosing the path of forgiveness and understanding, we discover an oasis of serenity and peace. Thus, guided by Stoic wisdom, we are reminded of a universal truth. Forgiveness is the key to our personal freedom. It acts as a guiding light through emotional tempests, providing refuge in the harbor of serenity. Through this profound lesson, we come to realize that, at times, our greatest strength lies in letting go, freeing ourselves from the chains of the past, and sailing toward the horizon of understanding and peace. 5. Don't talk about your deepest dream. Imagine for a moment a rare and delicate seed in the palm of your hand. It represents your most intimate dreams, your most fervent aspirations. How would you protect it from harsh winds and storms that could prevent it from sprouting? The Stoics, with their profound wisdom, provide an answer. They saw your goals and dreams as these precious seeds, destined to be planted in the depths of our souls, far from the storms of others' opinions and criticisms. Within Stoic philosophy, self-sufficiency is celebrated as an invaluable gem. True wisdom, true accomplishment, is not a chalice to be displayed, but an internal well from which one can always draw. It makes no sense to seek fleeting external approval when we can find richness and purpose in the recesses of our own minds. Perhaps the quietest and yet most eloquent of virtues, the Stoics recognized the subtlety of the line that separates healthy ambition from arrogance. Choosing silence about our grand goals was not an act of shyness, but a deliberate choice to walk with humility, avoiding the pride that sometimes blinds. In the end, the Stoic legacy speaks to the heart. There's no need to shout our dreams from mountaintops. Instead, protect them, cultivate them, and watch them flourish in their silent and majestic glory. This safeguard is an invitation to rediscover the strength that resides within us, and to recognize that at times, the most precious treasures are those we keep just for ourselves. 6. Don't talk about your next steps. Imagine a chess master, expertly moving their pieces in silence, while their opponents strive to decipher their next moves. This silent, strategic approach mirrors the Stoic way of life. The Stoics recognized that by laying bare every detail of their life's journey, they risked subjecting themselves to the capricious winds of external judgment. Winds often laden with criticism, envy, and even malicious intent. At the core of Stoic philosophy lies the virtue of self-sufficiency. Why should one rely on the fleeting applause of an audience when genuine strength resides within the inner theater of the mind? By safeguarding their life strategies, the Stoics weren't merely concealing their plans. They were fortifying their inner core of confidence, unshaken by the shifting tides of public opinion. This perspective leads us to the concept of humility. Disclosing grandiose strategies could easily be misinterpreted as an act of arrogance, a triumphal proclamation of superiority. By choosing discretion, the Stoics found equilibrium between ambition and humility, ensuring that their steps were resolute but not presumptuous. Thus, the Stoic tradition offers us a valuable perspective on the significance of maintaining secrecy. It teaches us that guarding our aspirations transcends mere strategy. It strengthens our very essence, honors our self-reliance, and allows us to navigate the world with confidence and wisdom. In an era where external validation often takes precedence, the Stoics urge us to turn inward, find our inner compass, and walk our own path with assurance and sagacity. 7. Keep your doubts and uncertainties private. Envision yourself in an expansive forest, where each tree symbolizes a doubt and every shadow represents an uncertainty. Instead of vociferating your hesitations to the world, you opt for silent introspection, seeking answers deep within your soul. This path aligns with Stoic philosophy. At the core of Stoicism lies the recognition that confidence isn't a banner to flaunt before the world, but an inner guiding light. Constantly bearing our doubts to the world is akin to subjecting a lighthouse to a torrential downpour. It can silently extinguish. This inner solidity shields us from being swayed by the opinions and judgments of others. Modesty, in this context, isn't merely an external virtue. It serves as a guardian, protecting our spirit. Thus, laying bare all uncertainties can strip the soul of its dignity. Hence, it's essential to judiciously select when and with whom you share your vulnerabilities. While many seek answers amid the cacophony of the external world, it's crucial to acknowledge the significance of silence and introspection. Profound answers often resonate in the quiet chambers of our heart and mind. By nurturing certain uncertainties, you foster deeper reflection and cultivate a more intimate connection with your essence. In essence, Stoic wisdom imparts invaluable counsel amid the tumult of doubt. There's no necessity to broadcast your uncertainties to the world. By embracing silence, modesty, and introspection, you chart a secure course through the forest of uncertainties. Guided by the inner beacon of your confidence and understanding, you harness the power of silent self-reflection, the enduring gift bestowed upon us by the Stoics. 8. Don't talk about others. Criticizing others is like throwing stones into a calm lake, creating ripples that disturb the serenity of the water. The Stoics understood that engaging in judgments and criticisms was a diversion from their own internal mirror, wasting precious energy on matters beyond their sphere of influence. Instead of pointing fingers, the Stoics chose to extend a hand. They guided themselves with empathy and compassion, recognizing that every person is a universe filled with internal and external battles, joys and sorrows, victories and defeats. Criticizing another person would be a failure to acknowledge the richness of the complexity of the human condition. They also realized that criticism, instead of building bridges, often erected walls. In its quest for tranquility and harmony, they understood that harsh words and hasty judgments did not lead to peace, but discord and separation. Stoic wisdom sends us a clear and timeless message. We must be guardians of our words and thoughts. Instead of focusing on the faults of others, let's turn our gaze to our own reflection, seeking growth and virtue. In a world where criticism is easily launched, Stoic teachings inspire us to embrace understanding, acceptance, and kindness, casting stones of empathy into the lake of humanity and appreciating the waves of positivity they generate. 9. Don't talk about your moments of solitude. While countless individuals are driven to fill every fleeting second with external stimuli and constant interactions, the Stoics unearthed their strength in moments of quietude. They didn't perceive solitude as a void to be crammed with diversions, but as a sacred haven where the mind could dance unburdened, liberated from the shackles of external judgments. Contrary to common assumptions, the Stoics didn't shy away from solitude. They wholeheartedly embraced it. During their retreats, they didn't experience isolation, but rather a profound connection to a rich inner universe brimming with profound insights. In a modern era where validation through social media has assumed paramount importance for many, Stoic philosophy urges us to reassess our priorities. By distancing ourselves from the incessant clamor for exposure, we uncover a space where our soul can breathe freely. In the depths of this profound silence, we encounter the melody of our essence, a resonance that requires no outward proclamation, but beckons to be felt in its unadulterated purity and truth. 10. Don't talk about unlearned lessons. Few things are as universal as mistakes. We all fail, we all make errors. But it's in the response to these failures that a person's character is truly revealed. For the Stoics, these moments were not ones of despair, but of revelation and growth. Many of us in our contemporary society feel pressure to project an image of perfection. We showcase our triumphs and hide our defeats. But the Stoics show us a different approach. Embrace mistakes not as a sign of weakness, but as a map for self-development. By choosing to keep your unlearned lessons private, the Stoics were not trying to evade their responsibilities or hide from their failures. Instead, they sheltered themselves for a deep and intimate process of reflection. Each failure was seen not as an end, but as a beginning, a new chapter in the ongoing quest for virtue and wisdom. Just as an artist turns a mistake into a crucial part of their work, the Stoics turned their failures into foundations for growth. In a world where oversharing and overexposure are common, the Stoic stance reminds us of the value of introspection and the dignity of silence. 11. Don't talk about your deepest plans. Recognize that there's no necessity to proclaim your plans loudly to the world. It's a potent weapon. The Stoics comprehended something often forgotten by many, that discretion is not a sign of weakness, but a manifestation of strength. To them, every plan or aspiration resembled a fragile seed, deserving of tender nurturing and protective care. By refraining from premature exposure, they ensured an ideal environment for their aspirations to thrive and flourish, sheltered from the tempests of doubt, envy, or public scrutiny. In our contemporary age marked by excessive exposure, where every move is meticulously documented and shared, Stoic philosophy prompts us to reconsider our approach to ambitions. It reveals that true potency frequently resides in what remains undisclosed, not out of evasiveness, but due to a recognition of the importance of nurturing our dreams within a secure cocoon. For the Stoics, silence was not a void, but a reservoir teeming with potential, endless possibilities, and boundless hope. By safeguarding our dearest plans, we grant them the liberty to evolve at their own pace, unencumbered by external interference. In this process, we might just discover that the genuine magic resides not in what we proclaim to the world, but in the silent accomplishments within the recesses of our determination. Thank you for watching. Your support is important for us to continue sharing knowledge and inspiration with everyone. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe. We'll see you soon.